So, Jules, we didn't have to wait too long for some action. If I remember, you had to face your old friend James Plaskett last year in Eastbourne when he was on his way to the title, and you got him again in round 3 this year. So just take us through this position, will you, please?
Okay, well, we reached this position after 10 moves, and Jim played a move which I must say, well, it leaves me speechless now. I mean, at the time, I had to look at him and thought, what's the guy on? He played E takes D5, which under normal circumstances would be a perfectly reasonable move, but it allowed my knight to hop into C7. And if you look at the position, this rook on A8 is trapped. There's no way he can save it, but he'd obviously seen the move. He didn't seem at all worried by it. Calmly carried on with D6. Let me take the rook in the corner. Well, what he continued with queen here, queen C6. And now I found an excellent move. I played A4. And the idea is I'm actually threatening to move my bishop out to B5, which is actually traps his queen. If it was my move, I'd go here, and there's nowhere for his queen to go.
That would have been quite nice if you actually won the queen and the rook in 2 moves.
That would have been fantastic. I mean, the move I was expecting... Well, one move that he wants to play, obviously, is to go here, B6 and try and win my knight. But I've got quite a nice move. I developed my bishop anyway. And then when he takes my knight in the corner, I actually take this pawn on D6 with my bishop.
Those bishops look killers. They're incredibly good.
I'm actually going to win this rook for my bishop, because if it goes there, I take it. If it goes to E8, I play bishop takes E8. And if it goes to D8, attacking my bishop on D6, I've just got the very calm bishop E7. And the rook is trapped. So I would actually win 2 exchanges.
You'd win 2 rooks.
I'd win 2 rooks. The main problem actually with these positions is not so much winning them, it's seeing so many different ways to win that you get confused, get short of time and then blunder. That's how often white can go wrong. But I kept my cool.
You kept your cool and you reached the following position.
I reached the following position. There's a very good policy in chess. If you're material up, often the easiest way to win is give the material back to transpose into a superior ending, which with level material can actually be a lot easier than being material up. You get the initiative.
Just show us how you managed to finish it off, really.
Well, it was very nice because I'd seen a forced win. I took this pawn on F7 with my knight, and the point is that I'm attacking his bishop, and he's got to be very careful because wherever his bishop moves, my knight can move somewhere with a check. I've got this sort of battery lined up here. He played bishop F4. Now I've got a forced win. I played knight here, check, with a bishop to the king. And now the point is, if he moves his king to either of these 2 squares, to here or to here, I have a knight fork check, which hits his king, attacks his bishop, and I win a piece for nothing. So he played the only move to avoid this immediate loss, which was to bring his king in the corner. But this, of course, has a big drawback. I exchanged the bishops on F4, and he recaptured, of course. And then after my rook to the 7th rank, to D7, there is absolutely no way he can stop rook takes H7, mate, next move. So he was forced to resign.
Beautiful. And the nice thing again is that it's equal material in the final position. After all that give and take. So you disposed of Jim Plaskett to get 3 out of 3, and then you had to face the young international master Peter Wells. How did you feel then in this game?
Well, I felt very nervous for the whole game. Because I realised he was one of the top players in one of my main rivals. In my previous 2 encounters with him, I'd drawn and lost with white, so I realised that he could very easily beat me. The position we reached here after about 25 moves, I thought I was just coasting easily to the win. I was a pawn up. He was very, very short of time. He had to make the next 15 moves in about 2 minutes. And in this type of position, that's very difficult. His last move was pawn from E4 to E5, and suddenly the situation's totally confused. The obvious reply to just take the pawn, it gets very complicated because he advances this pawn, and if I take, then he can win a piece on F6. So it all gets very, very hectic. And my next move was partly determined by the fact that he was so short a time. I thought, well, it might not be the best move, but I'm a very practical chess player. Let's mix it up. And I played knight takes d5, which, of course, is sacrificing a piece. So he took it, which seems very sensible. And then the idea was to whip this pawn off, and I took it with my rook on b2, and now I'm threatening rook g1 checkmate. He played his queen back here, which is to stop me mating him.
Looks sensible.
I played a very sneaky move. I just calmly took his pawn on e5, and now very quickly, he was short of time, had virtually no time now, he played queen takes pawn with check. So he must be very careful. Anyway, the finish was quite nice. Well, certainly it was nice for me. Now, he's still going to worry about this mate. He didn't have to worry last move because I had to worry about my king, but he's still got to worry about rook here mate. He found the only move. Well, he played this move to guard against this square, but suddenly the pawn, which has blocked the check, going from f7 to f6, opens up my queen unbelievably, and after queen takes d5,
it's just gone.
He's completely. There's no way to stop rook here. Discovered mate. I'm up 3 pawns up, and he's in a complete mating.
So it was very sneaky the way you tempted queen takes pawn check. To take pawn with check, you always want to do in time pressure, and presumably you'd planned all that, and you saw that after f6, his position was hopeless. Nice bit of psychology
it was,
there.
But whenever I teach people anything about chess, and I see someone after the game and they say, oh, I lost by a short of time, I always say that's no excuse. You've got to handle your time properly. And I exploited the fact that he was short of time, confused him.
So you got to 5 out of 5 without too much trouble, Julian, but I seem to remember that in round 6, the last day of week 1 of the British Championship, you had to face the number 2 seed Barua from India. And I think you were having a few problems there, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, it was an incredible game, totally wild, and this was coming up to the end of it, this position here. We were on about move 37, and he actually had already missed one win, which neither of us saw at the time or even after the game. It was quite funny. Jim Plaskett pointed us out a few days later.
Gets everywhere, Plaskett.
He does. Can't get rid of him. But anyway, we reached this position, and I'd seen the best move, and I was going to play it, but I didn't, because the best move is actually queen here, and that should draw. But I was sort of very nervous, and I was thinking, I've got to make some moves, I've got no time. And I played this. I played this move, which is to defend my knight, give my king a bit more room. But he of course brought his queen in. I had to force, my king only had this one square, king a6. Then he went queen here, check. So I only have one move. And this is actually, this position, he missed his chance to win. He had absolutely no time, so it's understandable that he missed it. I mean, the move he played, he actually exchanged queens. And I breathed a big sigh of relief after that. I thought, oh. He took his pawn back, but after I retreated my knight, the game was drawn. Level material, no problems. The actual, what he should have done, I mean, to be fair to him, he had less than a minute at this stage, but everybody in the commentary room upstairs saw immediately he should take my knight off first. Then I take back with the rook. And then he's got a very cunning little win here. He goes rook here, check. I must block it with the pawn. And now, even now I can see how he missed it. He goes queen here, check. I've only again got one move, so it's all completely forcing. I must block with the queen. And now, the coup de grace. He's got a wonderful move here. He plays rook takes this, which looks madness. Nice. The point is, he can't take with the queen because I can't take with the queen because it's pinned. If you see that, my king. So I must take with the king. It's the only move. Yeah. And now he can take this pawn with check.
On c5 and everything's falling.
And again, if you've noticed, every move I've played has been completely false. I've got no choice. And now he just takes my rook. And he emerges only a pawn up. my king's very open, and this is easy.
Yeah. So you got to round 9 with quite an impressive score, 7.5 out of 8, and you probably had your eye on the record.
I certainly did. I was going for 10.5 because I thought that would be 10.5 out of 11. I thought that would be a record which would take some beating. And I was playing Tipsay, and we'd reached this position after 28 moves. And he was in desperate time trouble. Now, he's got a real reputation of being a time trouble merchant. He just loves it. And he plays very, very well in it. But he actually missed his chance. I suddenly saw, my last move, I'd actually, if we just go back one move, I'd just played D takes C6, taking my knight back because I was a piece down. And now, it suddenly dawned on me, I'd seen that if he takes my pawn with the queen, threatening mate on 2 different squares, I can just calmly block the diagonal with knight e4. But I suddenly spotted, and I thought, oh my god, he can play rook takes d2. I must obviously, I've got to recapture, otherwise I'm just a piece down. And then he plays takes on c6. And not only is he threatening 2 different mates on g2 on h1, he's also threatening queen takes rook. So he's going to win a piece. Once I, let's say, stop the mate down here, bring the bishop out, he just takes my rook.
A full piece up.
And you know, I was thinking, oh no. This position was reached after move 40, and if you look at it, I am exchanged for a pawn down. I've got a bishop and a pawn for a rook. So it looks like I'm not doing very well. But the time control's just been reached. But I thought, well, I want to play one more move quickly to try and force him to make another move, because he wasn't keeping a note. He wasn't sure how.
So he didn't know you'd reached 40 moves.
Yeah, and often when you're not sure, you want to make one more move
just to be sure. I'm like that as well.
So I thought, well, I'll make a move quickly, and then hope he blunders something. So I played queen here very quickly, and he actually did make a mistake, but it wasn't too serious. If I'd spent a nanosecond thinking in this position, we've made the time control. I know we've made move 40. So I've got about an hour and 10 minutes. I can look at this position to my heart's content, and it wouldn't take a genius to spot that after bishop takes f8, bishop takes this knight, he's obviously got to recapture it. I mean, anything else, otherwise he's just lost a piece for nothing. Rook takes bishop. I go queen to e4.
Almost exactly the same as what he missed.
Yes, it's very similar. It's very ironic that he missed. He could have taken a piece before and then threatened mate in the corner down here.
And the win of a rook.
And a win of a rook.
Incredible.
And as you see, I'm threatening to checkmate him on h7. I'm threatening to also the rook, and there is no way he can parry both threats. So I become a merged piece out.
The final round, Julian. You're a point clear, although hopes of getting the best ever score are gone. All you need is a half a point to clinch the title. But sadly for you, you're up against a world-class Grandmaster.
I thought I was playing you, Dave.
Yes, I was, in fact, Jules' opponent on this historic day. Now, the amusing thing about this encounter is that since I'm about to be your best man, Julian, everyone expected me to give you a very quick draw.
No such luck. No such luck.
No such luck. The only thoughts going through my mind were, may the best man win. I was going all out to deprive my groom of the title.
I think it should be pointed out, actually, that you'd also beaten me in our previous 3 encounters. All, I think, with black, or 2 with black.
2 with black, so I wasn't feeling too unconfident, if you see what I mean. Anyway,
the game continued in interesting fashion. I played d4, which was very sensible.
I played the only move I know, which is 1 g6.
And now I played h4, which looks like a beginner's move. You're supposed to develop in the centre, not on the flank, in the opening. And I was happy to get it in because I felt good, and you were happy to see it played.
Yeah, I must say, that wasn't the move I was worried about. I certainly wouldn't have tried to deny you to play h4, Julian. I still believe in some textbook stuff like you shouldn't advance your pawns on the wing. So I calmly continued my development.
And I brought my bishop out.
And I brought my bishop out too.
And I brought out another piece.
Now, the way I've always read these books is that when someone comes down the wing, you should counter-attack in the centre. So I believe in this good, solid stuff. c5.
And I bolstered my centre with my pawn.
Now, this is where my brainstorm began, if I remember. What I saw here is an immediate way to win a pawn. So I thought I would go for it. I took your pawn on d4.
And I recaptured.
And now I brought the queen out to b6, thinking that I'm attacking d4 and b2, and I thought I would get at least one of them. I was very confident here. I thought you'd completely cracked up under the pressure.
Yes, I must say, I'd initially, before we got to this position, I'd initially seen this coming. I'd intended just to copy, to bring my knight out, defend the pawn, let you take this pawn down here, and then carry on with my development and try and give a pawn for quick development and exploit your queen's position. But it suddenly dawned on me, in this position, I had a very sneaky move, which I thought you might have missed. So I very cunningly moved my knight and attacked your queen.
I certainly hadn't missed the move. I thought, well, that is going to win me a piece at least. So I brought my queen in with check.
And so I sort of stopped the check with my bishop.
Now I thought Julian has gone completely mad. What is he doing here? His British title is now gone. I'll take a piece, and I walked away to the restaurant to take a cup of tea, and I expected you to have resigned before I got back.
Yes, I must admit, I assumed you'd missed my next move. I thought you were expecting me to move my pawn or something, attacking your queen, but it was clear to me that you totally missed my next move, which was to move the rook to c1. The point is, wherever the queen moves, if it moves out of the way, let's say to here, I wing my rook down, take the bishop, and that's actually checkmate.
It is checkmate. It's not like the hardest combination in the world to spot, is it? It's the most incredible hallucination of my life, this, and for it to happen on centre court, if you like, of the climax of the British Championship is very cruel. The nice thing about it, well, nice in some respects, is people couldn't believe I played so badly. They thought we'd rigged the game because, of course, I was your best man, so I came out of it quite well. Everyone say, well, of course, Norwood would never
did the honourable
thing, and well, I lose my queen, I get a rook and knight fit, so it's not the end of the world. It could have been because it could have been a pawn I'd taken on c4 the way I was playing. So I took off the rook and we quickly agreed a draw. You offered me a draw, which was quite nice. That was your wedding present to me, wasn't it?
There you go, David.
And you took the British Championships, and I had to be content with a share of 5th place.
Yes, that seemed about right to me.
Julian, this was the 13th time you've played in the British Championship. Often you've come within a hair's breadth of winning. This year you won it so easily. What was so special about your preparation?
Well, actual preparation with regards to learning openings, learning endgame theory, I didn't do any of that at all. And throughout the tournament before each game, I would not prepare an opening. I would just think about my opponent. I was thinking, I'm better than my opponent. I'm going to win. I'm going to give it all I've got. I was very focused, very concentrated. I thought for someone to come ahead of me in this tournament, they were going to have to play very well indeed.
Julian Hodgson, British champion. Sounds quite nice. Firstly, well done.
Thank you very much.
A couple of years ago, though, if I might be a little rude, it seemed to me that you were just an averagely good international master. Now look at you, you're a grandmaster on the verge of being a super grandmaster. The question has to be, where is the limit?
The sky's the limit, Dave. I think chess is a mental game. The age isn't that important. You can go on improving. I hope maybe one day I can get in top 20, top 10, top 5, Kasparov. Yeah.
Well, all I can say on behalf of Grandmaster Videos is good luck.
Thank you very much, Dave. Cheers.
Hi, this is Grandmaster Damian Lemos. First of all, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like to receive more free chess videos from us, you can just click the subscribe button below. I would also highly recommend signing up for my free mail course, The 10 Grandmaster Secrets to Dominate Chess. During this exclusive course from onlinechesslessons.net, I'll share with you my own Grandmaster shortcuts to effective attacking, defending, and growth hacks to improving your chess without complicated books or memorization. So sign up by clicking the sidebar on the right, and I know you won't be disappointed. Once more, this is Damian for onlinechesslessons.net, and I'll see you in my videos. Thank you.